Hi everyone, this is Dan, and this is Alpha Flight number 1 by John Byrne. Whew! Took me a while to find this comic, and very thankful for the suggestion to go check it out, because it's pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie. This cover's kind of interesting. You have the Canadian superheroes telling all the other Marvel heroes, step aside. Only we can handle this. It's pretty cool. So opening splash page, pretty interesting. Got a bird's eye view of James Hudson, Vindicator Tundra. It's a lot of still perspective and narration. This is all look at how many narration boxes are here. This is 80s right here. This is totally 1980s, and it's awesome. Love how this character looks, by the way. Despite the weird maple leaf motif, which makes him kind of look like the counterpart of Captain America, it's pretty freaking cool. So we're recapping what happened in X-Men, or Uncanny X-Men 139 and 140, which was the Wendigo storyline. So Alpha Flight, or half of Alpha Flight, and the X-Men, mainly Wolverine and Nightcrawler, teamed up to go take on this absolute freaking beast of a monster. They came out victorious, but when Vindicator returned to Ottawa, the Prime Minister, I think, yeah, this is still Trudeau. It's the older Trudeau, though. He basically gives them the bad news. They got to disband Department H, which is where Alpha Flight is located, and they're disbanding Alpha Flight. And James is kind of talking to himself, what is he going to do? This is brilliant storytelling, by the way. So here's Alpha Flight, here's now Beta Flight and Gamma Flight. And this is brilliant in another ways because he's the leader, right? So he's worried about what's going to happen to all these people now that his whole department's getting downsized, he's getting laid off. But at the same time, what this allows you to do is not only make Vindicator more human, but allows you to introduce all these characters that you can use for later storytelling down the line. Man, dude, John Byrne's freaking, like, a great artist, but also freaking smart storyteller. I really like it. So, anyhow, Vindicator, he does what he has to do. I'm going to be really happy when I get to call him Guardian. He's still called Vindicator in this issue. Talking to himself some introspection about, just being a superhero in Canada, this is a really cool issue because it kind of is almost like a still photo of Canada in the 1980s, which I'm not Canadian, so it's just kind of cool reading about it. Here you get the main villain of the story, this crazy dude out in the middle of the tundra. And he's clearly psycho, about ready to die from starvation, and he starts kicking dirt up and making an image. This image is this freaking monster sort of image that he's kicked into the dirt. He puts on this mystical crown, and something crazy is about to happen. We kick over here, Shaman. You get some narration explaining, who he is and what he does. He's, I think it's pronounced Sarsi. I forget, they don't call him that anymore, but it was basically a Northern Plains North American Indian tribe. And he, didn't necessarily abandon, but he went to become a real doctor, or as the narration says, the white man's medicine. Pretty interesting. But he senses what's going on right here. Cut over. You go to the, I believe it is pronounced Beaubier. I'm sorry. I apologize to all French viewers. I can't pronounce French words. So please send me an angry comment down below and tell me how to actually pronounce it properly. But anyhow, this is North Star and Aurora. This is after their special in Machine Gun Man number 18. They're kind of reuniting and talking. This is really interesting. So all the little girls are in love with North Star. And I know through comments before and a little bit of research that North Star is, I think, one of the first actually gay characters in the Marvel Universe. Or the Marvel Comics, though they weren't really openly saying that back in these days. By the way, this is a double issue, so this video might run a little long. Apologies ahead of time. Really cool. So the relationship between these two characters is very interesting. I think my understanding is Aurora has kind of a split personality. She kind of sort of rejects her mutant abilities and wants to live with the nuns and be isolated, whereas North Star embraces his abilities. In fact, he uses them to become a championship skier, which kind of bothers Aurora. And here, they have kind of like an odd, like, I guess some of this is maybe French culture, but yeah, North Star is like like a little too close to his sister. I don't know. That's maybe I'm reading too much into the narration and dialogue, but it's kind of interesting. Anyhow, yeah, Aurora is a like serious French Canadian hottie. We jump over and now we get reintroduction of Heather, which is James Hudson, Vindicator's wife. They're living in Ottawa, and you get like a slice of life of Canadian life, and it's kind of cool. You got the CBC live from Resolute Bay. So they're kind of talking about what happened with the disbanding of Alpha Flight. And James is looking at the screen, and something bad is going up north, and he's like, "Oh shit, here we go again." So he heads out to deal with it, but he tells him, "I'm going to deal with it alone. You know, don't bug anybody else." But Heather's like, "Yeah, I don't want my husband to die." So she goes over to the secret room, calls up the communicator, and basically calls up everybody in Alpha Flight, including two people that were recommended to become Alpha Flight, which were introduced in the early scenes with Beta Flight. And that's the introduction of the two characters that I didn't remember, which was Marina and Puck. Just going to jump over. Here's the introduction of Puck. He's a little short shit that's just working at a bar, busting people's balls. He gets the call and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not in the Bush League anymore. We're going to the majors." You get Marina. Marina's actually a pretty interesting character. She's like a fish lady, but kind of mysterious. By the way, I grew up in Southern California, and the Pacific Ocean is really fucking cold. So I can only imagine how ungodly cold Canada's waters are. So when I saw this panel, I was like, "Oh man, that's cold." You get Sasquatch, football scientist. I honestly, Sasquatch he's a cool character, but I think to me he's like the weakest character when I'm reading these early issues compared to some of the others. I don't know. Maybe don't send your hate mail at me, Sasquatch fans. I just not really into this character. This character I am into. I freaking love Snowbird, dude. This is a cool ass character. First off, when she's in her human form, she's pretty hot as a Mountie. And second off, the backstory behind her, and also coming from the Wendigo storyline, how she's kind of like they create this mystery that it's not really sure whether she's actually human. She might be like half witch or half spirit or something like that. She comes first on the scene with Tundra, and then that's when she realizes what's going on and the magic that's going to happen. And then you get this. Oh, this is freaking awesome right here. This is great. Even though it's black and white mostly, coloring is very dull. This has got a lot of impact to use an entire panel page like this. So Snowboard's like, "Oh shit." Then you get, this is a really cool, so this is a one-page sort of, not necessarily exposition, but just building up the hype. You get Marina and you kind of see her abilities, right? She's just ungodly fast when she's in the water. And this is really cool. It's kind of like Aquawoman of a sort, but it makes more sense that she's more animalistic or fish-like, I guess you could say. You get Aurora and Northstar. They're heading over to support, and her personality has split. That's kind of like a thing with her, is she has this split personality, and this is the more open, free, aggressive Aurora, aggressive French Canadian MILF, and Northstar is kind of like inner monologuing, like, "What the hell? What am I gonna deal with?" Here you get a funny scene with Puck beating up a Canadian trooper trying to find. Puck is basically comedic relief in this opening double issue. Snowbird and Vindicator take on Tundra. Vindicator just arrives on time, and Tundra's like he has like the power of the earth and the elements, and he's fighting these characters, and they're just having a hard time dealing with them right now. Shaman arrives. He tries to reason with them, but the human that created Tundra's already dead. And Tundra just starts wrecking shit. Vindicator tries to use his powers, but they find out that using destructive powers basically destroys the Earth because Tundra is tied to the Earth. And they're kind of like talking to each other, like, how the hell are we going to deal with this? Sasquatch arrives and does a very good Incredible Hulk impression while Tundra just keeps growing and growing. I love the just showing off the size of this character or this villain, right? It's great. It really kind of pushes home the challenge that Alpha Flight has to overcome. Northstar and Aurora show up. They start confused. Dude, Northstar is like, Sasquatch gets smacked and he's like, "Yeah, whatever. If he dies, he dies, but we got stuff to do." Northstar is such a dick in like these early comics. I don't know if he continues to be a dick, but man, he's a dick. Shaman uses weather magic, and it has an effect, but he doesn't have enough water to really affect Tundra enough. And that's when, luck have it, Marina shows up, and she's 3 miles off the ocean. And she's just not close enough to really make a difference, but Vindicator finds out, hey, this could still be useful. So Northstar and Aurora distract Tundra. Vindicator grabs Marina out and then uses the water spout that she created and uses that water in conjunction with Shaman's powers to just create a huge torrential downpour on Tundra, and it just kills him. And this is a freaking great panel right here. Just nothing but a skeleton left. He's been destroyed by the elements. So you get to the resolution of this freaking awesome double issue. And it's kind of funny. You get like a little bit of humor right here as he comes in, and the whole gang is like, hey, you know what? Even though the government disbanded Alpha Flight, we want to stick on. We want to be superheroes, right, for Canada. And her wife, James's wife, is all for it. And Vindicator kind of reluctantly, agrees. He also adds Marina along. He gets a knock at the door. It's freaking Puck. He missed the entire action and finally shows up. And you get a really fun ending scene with him getting into a fight with Sasquatch. This is a great final panel by Heather. Oh, Lord. Suddenly, I don't know if this is such a great idea. Awesome issue. Really enjoyed it. I have actually took a while because I ordered 1 through 8 because I had a feeling I like John Byrne's art, so I was like, I'm going to give it a full run and see what I think about it. I don't regret it. I'm looking forward to reviewing more issues of Alpha Flight, especially this early run with John Byrne. But yeah, man, this is great. This is great 1980s comics. If you've never read Alpha Flight, you gotta check it out. It's really good. Anyhow, that's the video. If you like this, please hit the thumbs up to like. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. And man, I'll be back with more 80s comics, maybe some manga too. And just continuing on. I'm just having a ball just reviewing these comics. And man, I will see you next time.